pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so public comments. Well, Bill, I think we have some solar stuff to talk about later, and the bike path, clean energy transition plan, so all that's in here, but if you have any other...
I'm cool with whatever you guys want to cover.
Okay. All right. Okay, so for the open space fund, we mentioned at last meeting that it was mentioned at a council meeting, open space fund, or I forget how we found that out, or was it you, Rick, who told us that they mentioned?
I don't know if it was at a council meeting or workshop, but I know that there was talk about possibility of an open space fund. I don't know if it was during budget.
I did reach out to William Winchester on Facebook, but I don't think he responded.
So does he understand that he's supposed to be coming to these meetings?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was at the workshop when they gave everybody their board assignments.
Because we kind of need that liaison.
I know last month he was on vacation. I know in February he was on vacation, but
Maybe they should have someone else come. If the council person can't come, they should have a stand-in. Just because otherwise it's sort of like we're over here doing this and like there's just no communication. Well, I mean, I know you're bringing stuff back. But.
yeah, no, I mean, I do know that they gave out all their different assignments to board, so, and I do know he was on vacation last month.
He wasn't at our presentation at the workshop.
Yeah, he was on vacation.
Oh, he's still okay.
Well, he's still on vacation today.
I don't know where he's at today. He was on vacation at the workshop. He was on vacation for our last meeting.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I reached out to him on Facebook, but he hasn't answered. But that was only a day or two ago. So I'll keep.
Don't they have email addresses though?
Yeah, that might be better too.
Because it might be a person that doesn't use Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah, I've chatted with him on there before, but
Oh, you have. Well, then maybe it's just time.
but maybe for council related stuff, he'd prefer it over email instead. But Ellen sent these resources, I think, after last meeting. Was that after last meeting?
Yeah. Yeah.
There are some resources here that we could potentially use if the township wants to go through with a program like this. I thought this resource was really good.
Yeah, and it's you probably noticed it is in draft format still, but they'll probably We Conserve just has a plethora of guidance that's just really, really well thought through, and they have a strong legal team, so they're considering all those aspects as well.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll try to email William and maybe get an answer from him where council sits on this, or what they were thinking, and if we could help push for it in any way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that most municipalities are doing, because this is, not something people do every day, is set up a municipal open space funding program, is basically using natural lands as a consultant. And so I did talk with Kate Rahman there and about their professional services, and she said it, depending on, its ballpark costs and depending on what level of service they basically provide, it can be 15 to 20,000.
Okay.
But I think it would be money very well spent. But of course, the township has to have that allotted. Because with their help, they have a very good track record of the referendums getting approved. Because they just know all the facts and figures and talking points and can put together all of these materials like they did for Lower Frederick and they're doing for many other townships right now.
Yeah, that's great. Do you think that could potentially be funded by a grant?
That's
Consulting? I don't know what kind of grant we could.
maybe. I don't know of one. Maybe We Can Serve. They had some grant thing that came out recently, We Can Serve, but it wasn't to the tune of 15 to 20K. Much smaller. I don't know that you could. I'm not sure that you could get a grant for that.
Okay.
I think you'd be pretty hard pressed to achieve that.
Okay.
But I do think it would be very, very worthwhile for the township because just even the smallest little percentage, it can really, create some earnings, even a tiniest little amount. And then you can leverage that to get other funds and you can use those funds for maintenance.
Yeah.
A certain percentage of them.
Yeah. This doesn't seem that bad at all, this.
So even if you weren't pursuing any big open space purchases, you could use the funds for current open space and like all the restoration projects you've done, the riparian work and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be, that's good to know that they've done this before and have the resources all lined up. Okay. So we talked about possibly doing a seed library at the community center a couple times. Rick, do you know if we'd have to get approval by folks on council or at the community center?
I think a minimum at the community center, and the only reason I'm saying it is I know they have, like, in the lobby, they have a book,
Yeah,
it's
that
like a little
free
library,
books.
3 books, and then they also have bins for donations for, I don't know what organization it is, but I know that they come there like once a week and pick up donations. There's a bunch of bins there, so I think at the minimum, I don't know that council would need to approve it, but I think the community center staff would need to
Okay.
just see exactly what it entails and where it needs to go and how big it is. And
Okay. I think it would make sense to put it kind of in the same area with the books and just, a small like wooden thing, or you pull it like a drawer with, vegetables on the one and native seeds on the, something like that.
Do you have a picture of what it looks like at Brooks, by chance?
Yeah, it was good to see. I know the Upper Dublin Library has a pretty nice. Let's see if I just Google.
I think that Burke's one I came across somewhere and it just seemed like a good, cool, look at that.
Something.
It almost looks like a car catalog.
Yeah, I mean maybe something like this, but with fewer drawers at first, and maybe if it gains popularity, we can expand it. I mean, even something like this, which doesn't take up a lot of space.
Yeah, maybe it's just start super duper small.
Yeah.
Like it could even be like it could be a box with strawberry baskets and then seed packets. Or
Yeah.
something. Like super simple.
Very simple.
Even if it's, just something like this one here, or, yeah, just the top, or like top part of this.
Oh, that's great.
So I can ask permission, and if we get approval, I can build one.
Who's in charge of the community center now?
Phil Brady's the director. I would probably start with Joanna. You've been in contact with Joanna. I saw you about renting a room, well, not renting a room, but getting a room over at Harriet Weatherall. I would start with Joanna, because I know Joanna takes, I know she is in charge of like that donation area. I don't know about the books, but.
Okay.
Do you still happen to have those seed packets I did for last year?
Most of them were taken at various events and people.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I might still have a few left, but I think
Well, I'm glad they're gone.
most of them. Yeah, but that was great. Yeah.
And the seeds were they?
I can't remember if there were 3 different ones or 4.
Yeah.
They were native perennials. I'm trying to remember what they were. They were from my garden.
Coneflower.
Oh yeah, cutleaf, Rudbeckia, lanceolata,
Was one a goldenrod or something? I forget.
epilobium.
Yeah.
There are 3 different ones.
Okay.
Like ones that kind of grow really easy.
Yeah, that was great. Okay, I can ask about that, and then for this, are there any? Yeah, property meadows. Not sure what that is. Okay. Anything else with open space and greenery? Okay.
Well, there's that property over by Harriet Weatherall. Do we know what's happened with that?
Is it still off the? Did they take it off and?
Yeah, I haven't seen it back on I don't know if someone bought it or if they just took it off the market, but I know it's not listed anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess I would encourage people too to think about open space as even like a lot in a residential area. Like perhaps if there's a lot where a house has never been built, or maybe there's a house that's in disrepair, and no longer viable or something. Because even small little lots could be little open spaces that could be really nice at a neighborhood scale.
Mm-hmm.
So if the township gets an open space fund, they could get, pretty small things. So it's not like, such exorbitant amounts, but has a really great impact.
Yeah, I know. So the township has bought like single-family lots before when they're next to parks, right? But have they purchased any that were further away from parks or like in neighborhoods, so you could consider turning into like a pocket park or something?
No, I think everything that we've purchased was, abutted a current park. I know it's like I could tell you in the valley there's like 4 or 5 builders that are buying up all the you say like houses that are in disarray or whatever,
Yeah.
Dilapidated. They're buying them all, even the ones that aren't really that bad, buying them up, knocking them down, and building $1 million houses in there.
Which I guess is great too.
Yeah,
Improving the housing stock.
Yeah. But I guess to try to compete with those guys, because they're sending letters out every, once a week.
Yeah, so it might be hard to,
It's probably gonna be hard to compete, like trying to buy like a lot that they could probably make, a couple $100,000 on building a house. But I do know, and I've said this before, there's a list that has properties that are identified as, if they do come for sale. I gave Matt that list, so he has it. I think the thought was the property at Harriet Weatherall, even though it was like 6 or 7 acres, it was already protected. So no one could develop. You know, they can only if they wanted to knock down the house that's there and build another house, it would have to be in that same footprint. They can't develop it.
Okay.
It was so they kind of
Oh, yeah, I
thought
remember
that was like
Yeah.
you know a good thing.
Well, I mean, I guess I would say that if the township were to pursue a municipal open space fund and it became kind of known, because I think a lot of times people think about open space as, oh, the woods and the fields and
Right.
these great big areas, but if people knew that, oh no, we're thinking about open space as even a lot that could be a natural meadow or a community garden or whatever it is, a pocket park, a natural play area for kids or whatever, that then people might think, they might decide to, if pass on their lot to the township
Yeah.
and donate it, or, I don't know. Because without knowing that, they might not think about it, you know, and then it wouldn't go to the developers.
Yeah, I like that idea of having a community garden or pocket park in these big neighborhoods where you have to drive to the nearest park or whatever.
Yeah, silly, huh? Yeah.
That would be cool. They do that in Philly with some, PHS greens up like vacant lots, and it can help. But yeah. All right. So John and I presented at the council workshop on the 2nd, just about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I thought it went well. I guess we got some feedback. We couldn't really answer the questions, but luckily Bill and Andy were there. But they raised some concerns. One of them was, the rising cost of electricity. Is there pushback in the rush to, for electrification with the increased costs versus gas?
And I think I actually did answer that one eventually via email, where the cost of electricity is less than spending money on gas anyway. So, but I forget the amount. Was it about $1,000 per year or something like that?
Yeah, I forget exactly what
Yeah.
the numbers were. But, yeah, it was still competitive. And now that gas is going back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, this was before the
Yes, this is
war started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the numbers I looked at for multiple models was like 30 to 50-ish percentage. Like that's how much you would save if you switch to EV, even with the increased utility rate. So.
Yeah. They wanted to learn more about what the short, medium, and long-term goals would look like. These were some of the questions they had. I think it was Chris Monero asked if any of these goals that are in the energy transition plan have already been done, and the answer to that was yes. The geothermal in this building is an example.
I wonder, do people know about that? Is that common knowledge in the township?
I don't think it ever got publicized.
Yeah.
Because it would be kind of cool to have a little information sign out here. Like a little, what's the word? Interpretive sign.
Yeah.
Although Rick might have a different view,
Oh.
whether it's a good thing or not.
I mean, it's. We worked through a lot of the original, issues, and I mean, we've already replaced 2 compressors on the chiller, which we knew. The maintenance costs of that type of equipment is greater than
Because it's running all the time, right?
Yeah, the compressors run all the time. It uses the heat off the compressors to help, with the heating the water or a heat exchanger. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's well known, in the for the employees and the people in this building. But I don't know that it was ever publicized. But I don't know if the building renovation was even publicized. Like people come in here and they're like, oh, something's there. Like they don't really pay attention. Like, I mean, there's.
So there was never really an open house, was there?
No.
Because it would be kind of nice, I mean, that's neat that Chris asked that, to have it be kind of a point of pride and accomplishment, because that can kind of spur people like, look, we've done these great things, we can do more. And actually, there's even some neighbors on Malvern, they have done geothermal for their residents. So people might, if they knew about it, they might think, oh, I could save some energy that way.
I think it would be more friendly publicly than it is internally, I imagine.
Do you think the employees would speak highly of it?
Yes,
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, it's tough. Like this winter was tough because you're not making 160, 180 degree water. You're making 130 degree water.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not, when it gets down, when we got those real cold, you can't. I could.
It was extreme. You had an extreme situation.
It was a tough winter. So So it's almost like a heat pump, like the heat pumps at your house. I mean, they're getting better, but that's one of the downfalls of it. It's not they're not there yet where they can make that real hot water to I mean, it's not uncomfortable, but some people have little space heaters in their office that they're running because they're chilly or whatever. So.
Yeah. Is winter tougher for geothermal? Like, is it better? Does it perform better in the summer?
I mean, in the summer it's fine. I mean, but the real issue is it's just like an electric heat pump. When it gets real cold, it's hard for them to keep up. That's I would say the one negative with. But in the summer, it's the same. It's air conditioned just like any other air conditioner. It's compressors with refrigerant in it, and so that's really not an issue.
And do you have any humidity problems in the summer?
No, I mean, like I said, we worked through a bunch of issues with the engineer. We were having some issues with humidity, and we got a lot of that stuff all figured out. So, last summer was much better than the previous summer. So no, I don't think we have humidity problems right now.
All right. So
When did the building turn on publicly? When did you officially open?
I don't even remember. It was I would say probably March of 2023 was a substantial completion date. So, somewhere around there.
So we're coming up on 3 years of energy bills. Could we review the energy bills and see what the trend has been?
That's a good idea.
We could. I kind of explained this before. The only issue is we used to have 2 services to the building. Now we have 1 service. So, we'd have to try to it sounds simple just to say, okay, take your 2 bills, but I don't know that it's exactly that. But we could probably get an idea.
Overall cost, at least.
Right.
That wouldn't hurt to have, because that's part of the energy transition plan, is to have an annual review of energy costs. So it wouldn't hurt to kind of build that baseline, so we could see going forward as electricity costs go up, how it impacts the budget.
Yes. I imagine that someone in township is doing that.
Is doing what?
Keeping track of utility costs, for example.
Well, we do have an outside company that,
Oh, okay.
you know, that looks at all the different rates and puts us on a program for, I think it's a 3-year, Bill, you probably.
Yeah, it was a
that
three-year
ESCO.
contract, but
Yeah.
I don't think they actually do reporting for the township. They just go out and find the lowest market price and then offer it to the, so I don't think they're offering us any reporting feedback. So I think it would be an internal role that somebody would want to institute in that CEM team to say, hey, let's ask somebody to maintain an annual report of energy costs.
I almost my thought is that someone in financing or whoever is doing the purchasing would have all this information available because they are paying the bills anyway. So I think
Yeah,
we
we could
should
easily-
get it done.
Yeah, we could easily get the bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be, we're gonna have to figure out, back in 2021 is when we had 2 services, so we'll have to figure out what those bills were, and I guess what the energy costs were compared. Now we just have 1 service. And then the Public Works had its own service, now it's running off this building,
Okay.
served from this building.
All right, so it started off, I guess, kind of not sounding good, but then towards the end, I think they were leaning towards adopting the plan, but they made it clear that their priority was the capital improvement plan, and they wanted our input on that, and they would be reaching out later this year to get our input on the capital improvement plan. But my understanding was they were leaning towards adopting it maybe as early as next month's meeting, and kind of work it into their capital project, capital improvement plan. Is that what you got?
I think the capital improvement plan sounds like it's not going to occur until the beginning of the budget season, so probably August, September. But yeah, I think it wouldn't hurt for you to email Matt and ask, are we on the agenda for April for the adoption? Just to kind of keep that conversation going, because he may say, hey, sorry, we got to push it to May, but it's good for you to kind of nudge him and say, hey, you guys talked about possibly voting on it in April. Can we still expect that?
Yeah. From what I remember in the meeting, Lynn was pushing for adoption in April, in spite of the capital improvement plan. So that's going in parallel, but at its own pace. So it does sound like April was what was recommended during the workshop.
Yeah, and I kind of, Andy kicked me under the table because originally the discussion was that we're going to have 4 CEM meetings a year, every quarter at least, right? I think you had even suggested bi-monthly. So they were kind of hemming and hawing about that. So they sounded like they were concerned about the amount of staff time that was involved. So I said, well, when I heard that they were going to wait until the capital improvement plan at the end of the year, I was thinking, well, how about we just get started, maybe only 1 meeting? And then Andy kicked me in. You're not supposed to give up on meeting quarterly. But anyway, I think it's good just to get it started because, once it's adopted, then it'd be good to set up a meeting with Matt and the staff and say, hey, could we just have a quick, call to get this program started and figure out when they then want to implement the CEM team.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, that would be the point of the first meeting, right?
Yeah, just to kind of introduce everybody and see how many people have read the plan.
Okay. Yeah, so that seemed promising by the end, I think. Anything else? I'll follow up with Matt and ask him if they're expecting to vote on this in the April meeting.
CC me on it too.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I wasn't there.
And maybe ask if they have any additional questions before the vote, just because
Next meeting, do you think it's?
they're
Sorry.
unlikely to ask questions in public. So if you can answer anybody's concerns before the vote, you're much better off than getting to the vote and finding out somebody's got a last-minute concern and it gets pushed.
What was your question?
I was just wondering if you think it's important for all of the EAB to be present to show our support.
For the at the council meeting,
For the vote,
Yeah.
probably a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think so. Yeah, if we can make it. Yeah.
Well, if you can, let everyone know the date.
Mm-hmm.
Get it.
Sounds good.
And if it's on the agenda and they don't have questions, so if they have questions, you might want to go to workshop. If they don't have questions, then you may only need to go to, it wouldn't hurt to show up at workshop just to kind of see if anybody has a last minute question, but
And we can just go to the workshop even if we don't have anything to say, right? And then we can leave
just to
whatever.
listen in, leave when you want.
Okay.
They've been allowing public comment at the workshop, which they
Used to never do.
never used to, so.
All right. Good to know.
Do any members of the public come to the workshop?
Not many. I mean, it depends on what's going on, but not many. Sometimes there may be a couple, sometimes, like last, there was probably 6 or 7 last meeting. But yeah, it depends on what's on the agenda, I think.
Okay. So moving on to the bike path development. I have Frank's email here. Let's see. So, Rick, do you have any updates about that?
I don't. So Matt and I looked on the Pico website, and it does show the construction, but it's like, I guess, the first phase. So I emailed our township liaison and just asked if there was any other information as far as Plymouth Township was concerned, the construction in Plymouth Township, but I have not.
Suzanne, right?
Suzanne Ryan, yeah, she's our
Okay.
liaison.
Yeah.
So I have not gotten the email back from her yet. I've emailed her several times over the years. She takes a little bit of time, I guess. I don't know if she's getting bombarded from I don't know how many townships she's in charge of, or.
The whole
But
region.
she always does get back.
She's their government affairs person for the whole region,
Yeah, so
basically.
I'm sure she's getting.
Yeah.
But every time I've ever emailed her, she's always gotten back to me. So.
Well, I'm glad you reached out to her directly because I know that Matt didn't want to provide her email address,
Yeah.
but then I saw Frank's email and he can't figure it out. And
Yeah.
if it's just going to be impossible to get the information from Pico unless you have the right person.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, she's always gotten back to me every time
That's
I've
good.
ever
Okay,
emailed her,
good.
so.
Okay. That's good. Hopefully we hear from her. Do we have any updates about the Jolly Road inspection?
I know that is on the, it's in the queue. I know that I don't want to say it's the traffic calming part of it, but I did ask Matt about that particular project last time, and I believe he told me that it is in the queue.
Okay.
Does it say what I said last month up there, or no? Yeah, I know that, I did ask about it before last month's meeting, and I think it involved, I guess the first rendition, they were talking about getting easements and stuff from property owners, and they decided, listen, we're just gonna do like those those share, sharrows and stuff like that, so, I think I don't wanna promise anything, but I think it'll be the first, project.
Cool. Okay, and then, let's see, Frank's email, I don't know if it said much, I think. Upper Marion.
It's probably the one that Matt and I saw also.
So he wasn't sure if it included the towers in Plymouth.
Well, that's great. So you followed up on it. You'll probably be able to answer his question
Yeah.
when Suzanne gets back to you.
Yeah.
Looks like he's emailed them too.
Yeah, but if you don't get the right person, it's just gonna be absolutely impossible. He probably will never hear back.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Alright, I think that's all for that one. Okay, so John and Bill met with folks from Exact Solar and Brightwell. And from what I understand, it seems like a deal that too good to be true, but
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Based on all the numbers, we will have cost savings every year. At the most conservative, if it's about 2,000, the current rate that Bill provided is about 7,000. So there is a fee. I think it's 45,000 or something like that we pay. But the idea is that the savings that we would make would surpass that by at least 2,000 to 7,000.
and so this program was like funded by rich investors.
High wealth investors who want to make a difference. So they're
Impact
providing their
investors.
funds for nonprofits to install solar and try to make more progress in the growth of solar. And because of the 30% federal credit, those investors will get those benefits. So part of their interest in investing is to help them with their tax situation. So they're usually people who owe a lot of taxes, and this will give them some sort of discount on their taxes. So sounds like a really interesting model.
Is that Brightwell right over
Yes.
here?
I don't know where it's located, sorry.
Isn't Brightwell the name of that?
But they're a landscaping business.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's here because it sounds like they're from Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they were
I thought
Midwest.
they bought the building on Jolly Road.
Oh,
Brightwell.
Siemens, the old Siemens?
No, across the street, the old U.S. Healthcare.
Oh, yeah, the Aetna. Oh,
Aetna, yeah.
Brightview is the landscaping.
Oh, yeah, Brightview, sorry.
Oh, that's called Brightwell?
The other one is Brightwell, is the investor company.
I thought they put it on that building there, that's what I thought.
I did do some more research on what EMSAs were outside of the spiel, and it does sound like it is something that other municipalities have done. The trade-off is that you would need like a lawyer to make sure the contracts and agreements make sense for this specific township. But for the most part, it does sound like it is a viable plan. Of course, again, you do have to pay up front. Hopefully, the first year you should have savings. The downside of owning it outright is that you would have less savings, but there is a 7-year buyback. And as far as I can tell, based on their current contracts, there is no escalation clause, so the fees are fixed. So it is like a fixed 45,000, and the first year savings, most conservative, is about 2,000. Based on the current rates, 7,000, and it should increase over the coming years if there's a 2 to 3% increase based on their
1,000 a year.
that we have to. Was it 45,000 or for?
Well,
Initial
The
installation.
projection for 30 years, the life of the panels, it said 30 years, your net cash
Yes.
return would be
1.8.
1.6 million.
That was the old one, right?
That was the first one.
Yes, the first one was 1.6.
So the 1.6, and then, okay, so I asked, I said, well, we had asked the ESCO last August, say if Plymouth renewed their contract here in August, what was the current rate they could get on the market? And they said 8.8 cents. So then just this, last month, beginning of February, I asked them, well, what would Plymouth's rate be if they renewed now? And they said it's in the nines. So I just made an assumption of guessing to use the PICO price to compare, which might be a little high, so it's 9.9. So rather than 8.8 last August, it's now cent.10, or what, 10th greater. So I'm thinking, well, August to January, or February is 6 months, and we've got another 8 months to go to November when we have to renew. So what's the chance that the price will get up to 9.9 cents? So I just said, why don't you estimate it at 9.9 today, so we can see what the return would be. So so what's interesting is the 1.1 cent increase in electricity rates returns $200,000 more, or more than $200,000 more over 30 years.
But to answer Andrew's question, the cost per year was it $45,000?
43,000, yeah.
That's every year for the first 7 years, or?
That's
20 years.
Okay.
So it was a 20-year lease or agreement. So I guess if you divide 1.8 million by 30, what do you come up with? 60,000 per year savings?
53,000, and then you take the 45,000, you net out $8,300 a year. 8,333 hours per year, because you say it costs you 45,000 a year.
Yeah, but
So 1.6
how do we?
divided by 30 is 53.3.
You would think they would have taken that into account with their number, though.
1.6.
The net savings, yeah.
Yes, it does. So yeah,
It's already been taken into account.
Yes, it is already taken again.
53,000 per year.
53,000.
Yes.
53,000. That's still a pretty good return, don't you think?
53,000 after the 45.
Yeah, saying that.
That'd be net profit or net cash back.
Yeah.
Is there a? Is there like?
Because you need a lawyer to make sure everything looks up to snuff.
What if the solar panels
Yes, I think if they're.
Implode and.
Yeah, I think that is in the contract too. They will fix it.
So the 20 years, the developer owns the panels and has to take care of them and maintain them and keep them up to snuff. So that's I think, written into your contract or your agreement. If the township buys back at 7 years, then the township would be responsible for the operation and maintenance for the remainder of the life, but your payback should be greater enough to cover that maintenance cost. And I think that traditionally, people have found that panels do last the 25 to 30 years. It just, they degrade, so they get less and less effective. But they're still producing electricity, and your ability to upgrade the inverters every so often is not, unusual. So I don't know that you would worry. The risk of it blowing up or, being a disaster is probably very small, because most people carry insurance. So even if we have baseball-sized hail, we should be able to insure against that, and get them fixed.
Back to your question, Andrew. The cons are, you could probably, if it's about savings, I don't know if this is the best investment rate of return that you can get, as compared to buying it outright. So
Yeah.
the thing, but I don't know if we have the capital for that in this township particularly.
That's the trick is that the township doesn't have capital. We when we presented the solar pitch last summer and September, that's the crux is the township has no money. So we would have to go for PPA or a loan, or, financing, and
Yeah.
Matt didn't like that. So it sounds like it'd be a good kind of
Yeah.
better model.
Yes, so this is different from a power purchase agreement. The EMSA is different from a power purchase agreement. It should be better for the township in terms of the rate of return. It's a little bit more complex, which is why you would probably want a lawyer to make sure it
There's less
makes sense.
to be involved.
So the township has a lawyer on retainer, right?
Well, they have a solicitor, yeah. I don't know if he's versed in solar agreements, but I'm sure they can find somebody.
Do you think it's worthy that we suggest they look at it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it sounds good, but how did you feel after the meeting? Do you think this is something we should bring up?
1.6 billion over 30 years. I guess that's the question. Is it worth pursuing? I mean, compared to nothing, I would say yes.
You said it's 53,000 a year?
That's if you divide 1.6 by 30 years, yeah. So was it, how did you come up with did you use the square footage of solar panels from the SEM team, or how did you guys come up with the
They used the sizing that the SEM team gave us in September, 430 or for something KW. And so, okay, those are two good numbers to put in your notes, if you don't mind, Andrew. If at the initial estimate at 8.8 cents a kilowatt hour, the return is 1.6 million.
Million.
But at the 9.8 cent or 9.9 cents, it's 1.8 million. So that's $60,000 a year.
Oh, wait, yes, million.
At 8.8 cents, it would be
1.6 million over 30 years. And that's the 53,000 that Rick came up with per year. And if they put in the Pico price to compare today, 9.9 cents, it's 1.8 million, which would be 60,000
okay.
per year. So what that tells us is that even a 1 cent increase of electricity rate can drastically impact your future budget.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's not nothing.
Yes, it's not.
And it could even grow with energy prices.
As prices
to
even
equal,
go.
like the price of a position
Yep.
for staff or something,
I was on a webinar, or no, I was in a conference yesterday, Monday. It's just today, Tuesday already? So just yesterday, somebody said, one of the presenters said, the reason electricity costs are going up so much, more than just data centers, it's also the cost of natural gas. So all these electricity generation plants around the country are running on natural gas. Well, the demand for natural gas has been taken by Europe because they cut off the Russian supply of natural gas. So now all of a sudden the United States is like shipping all this LNG over to Europe and other countries, and that's driven up the cost of natural gas, which causes our electricity rates to go up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Following up, there is some risk if prices for electricity does go down.
Fall.
Yeah, then we would be worse off.
If it dips below the 45 a year, 45,000.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did
that's true.
Springfield ever put their solar?
They're in the process of getting the project timeline. I think they're going to start installing in the next couple months. on the buildings, yeah.
Did we ever get a price, what they, like, remember, because theirs were a similar size.
They beat everybody. Ron Sultana was so impressed with the bidder, he said they came in something like $1.80 a watt. You know, our estimate, you know, in the high range was $2.25 a watt. And I don't know how big a difference that makes on the actual overall cost, but it apparently was significant for Springfield. So by putting stuff out for RFP, you get a better, you know, picture of what's real out there. Now, the EMSA, is it called?
Yes.
What's it called, EMSA? The solar installer says we don't have to go out to bid because it's a service agreement, it's not a capital project. So in that way, it's simpler for the township. They don't have to go through all that
Yes. No bid necessary is what they described.
shenanigans.
Interesting.
So Bill, this document you sent today says almost 1.9.
Oh,
Is that
okay,
with the
so I
higher-
misspoke. So,
Is that with the higher?
yeah, we gotta recalculate our savings per year. 1.88.
1.8.
Oh, it's only $80,000 more. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 1.8.
It's not that much.
You're
It's
right.
only gonna be another $2,000 or, you know, $62,000 a year.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, that was recalculated with the current PICO price to compare rate.
Yes, and the first year is what I was talking about, the 7,000 savings from the first year alone.
Right there's your annual
Okay.
cash flow, Rick, you see that?
Well, I mean, it seems like from everything you're saying, it's worthy to consider. I mean, everything we're hearing, at least in the news, and I mean, just from Suzanne Ryan, I was meeting with her on a county project. I mean, they're having to do all sorts of massive infrastructure stuff. So even, data centers notwithstanding, costs are gonna go up. I don't think we have to worry about them going down.
Right. It's not 2010 anymore.
Seems like they're not. Yeah.
And just, you know, the federal government's view away from renewables and just all sorts of stuff. It's not gonna, you know, it's not looking good in terms of energy costs.
The other thing is, you know, it stabilizes your electricity budget for that amount of solar. So in a sense, you could say, well, even if you weren't looking for the 1.8 million, you could just say you've got a fixed electricity
Security.
cost for the next
That's
30
security.
years. You don't have to worry about going back and, you know, adding taxes to cover it. It gives you more risk control, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
how did we pursue this then?
So we made a presentation to council workshop last September. We could revive that, put in the numbers for this model, and just go re-show it, re-present it.
Sounds good to me.
And it's also, I mean, there's many savings, but there's also the aspect of just, you know, carbon savings. So there's other,
It meets the Rate for 100 goal that the township has, where it meets part of it. So you could talk about,
It's a
look at all the
win-win.
carbon savings we're gonna have over the years.
How are the savings going up every year? Where is that?
So the electricity rate
Yeah, I think
Oh, that's
used in
from
the
the
model was
projected.
that he starts out at the 9.9 cents a kilowatt hour, and then he inflates it by, I think he said 4%?
Was it 4?
4 or 3.5?
I thought it was 2 to 3, but it's probably
No,
you probably remember it
We can
better.
we can ask him to
Yeah.
clarify before we go into a presentation.
Yes, but it is a number that increases over time. That's the
That's just
the cost
an estimate of how much the rates will go up.
Everything is an estimate except for 2027, which is based on
The current electricity rate.
current electricity.
And that's why he put it in at 8.8, because that's what we told him, what we presented in September. So now we've just upped it a little bit.
Which is why I said that even at the most conservative, even if rates stay the same, we're still saving 7.9 thousand every year. So,
Right.
yeah, at the most conservative, that would be the number. Which is not a lot, but it's not nothing.
So if it's only 7,000 per year, how does it add up to 60,000 over 30 years?
It keeps going up.
Yeah, it keeps going up. The
See, it's
percent.
79, then it's 98, 11.
Oh, I see. So in 2046, the savings is 60,000 a year. Then it's 106,047, which is what, 20 years from now?
Yes.
So 2/3 into your life, your system, and now all of a sudden your savings are becoming even greater because you paid off the, I guess you paid off the agreement.
By then, hopefully, the panels will be cheaper.
So you could replace
More
them and
efficient.
get more efficiency.
Well, on the face of it, it sounds pretty darn smart. You know, it sounds like it's worth.
It's a win-win, except for the solicitor time to make sure they understand it.
Which could easily
Be covered by the
spend that
savings in the first.
7,000.
Yeah, right, right.
It wouldn't be that much, but maybe.
I never know how
My
much
concern
contracts and.
through all of this is the impact investor portion of it. I still don't really understand how that part works.
So they get the 30% on the.
So it has to be done by July of this year, doesn't that go?
No,
away?
actually, what they did, this is another interesting thing about this company. So there was the ability to grandfather the prior tax law as of before December 31st last year, 25. If you bought 5 to 10% of the material you needed for your project, you could keep those tax rules. So what they did is they went out and acquired a bunch of equipment, and they've got it sitting there in their inventory. And so our developer that came to us, Exact Solar, is a partner with these guys. These are the solar installers, and they said, "You've only got a limited time that I'll let you take advantage of this because I've got to work on different clients." So the sooner we can get this pitch in front of council, the better.
So there is a time limit, but it's not.
Sounds like a
Does it
good
sound like
salesman.
does
Right,
it
well,
sound like a little bit of
Listen,
shady?
I talk to salesmen
Yes.
all the time, and it's never exactly what they say. I can tell you that for sure.
No, I agree. We have to
You
be.
better act
We have to
quick.
do it. We have to have our due diligence.
Right.
You know, one interesting thing is though, because this program has been successful in some other states, we can look at actual projects and talk to people who've actually gone through it. So maybe our solicitor won't have to do all that independent legwork because he can talk to other people. And
Is there anybody else in Pennsylvania that has
he
done it?
said that they're new to Pennsylvania, that this is kind of one of their early starts, but the fact that they acquired all this equipment, Exact Solar, who's the installer that wants to work with us, has a few other equipment, portions that they're gonna try to allocate to some of their other clients, so they're talking to some municipalities with the
The hail bid is in there actually.
What is it? This?
Yeah.
Oh, hail warranty.
Oh, only up to 1 inch hail? Who's gonna be out here measuring it, then it melts? It's gonna get smaller in diameter.
1.7 miles an hour, you're screwed.
Oh, boy. Well, maybe, I'm just wondering, obviously you need a solicitor to look over the deal, but maybe first off, someone at the township needs to look it over from just a workability, utility, kind of understanding the mechanics of it or something, more from that physical standpoint. Like, would there be someone that would have that? Like, or the township engineer or someone that could?
I don't know that the township engineers, versed in solar stuff. I think they'd have to hire
You may not want to invest the
Consultant.
money on it yet until council kind of approves. So I would think the pitch would be the first thing. Have the EAB go in, make the pitch, get agreement with the council to say, let's go forward to the next step, and then ask the engineer to look at it.
Okay,
Because I mean, the township engineer, I don't know that he's real familiar with solar. I think they'd have to hire somebody that,
I see, with the expertise. Because I don't know what I'm looking at with this stuff.
Me neither.
I mean, I think the contract part of it with the solicitor, I think that would be fine, but I think the
Yeah.
actual solar, like, what are they using, all the,
But an outside kind of neutral party expert.
yeah, like a consultant that, would- I don't know, even those, the
You can
guys from
talk
that
to-
SCM team, I mean, they do, they're an engineering firm that
Yep.
does.
Oh, yeah, go back to them.
They could take a look at it too.
That's a perfect,
Yeah, I mean, I
because
think,
they're a known, trusted,
yeah, I mean.
know the
they-
township.
and they know solar.
And they're independent of
Right.
affiliation with,
Oh, that would be absolutely perfect. But we'd have to pay them now.
Right. Right. I mean, might just be worth email saying, have you heard about this EMSA stuff? And what do you
Approach,
think
yeah.
about it?
Do we know what's the rate of returns that council would look at?
I mean, they used to have an ROI of 5 years is what they, for stuff which, that's not gonna, I mean, solar's never gonna pay back in 5 years. That used to be, the 5 to 7 years, I think, was the number they used to look at, but that was a while ago. That was back when LED lighting was just becoming popular. And,
Okay.
I mean, we've been talking about solar for, I think since 2008 is when we got that first price for this building, so,
18 years.
yeah.
yeah, everybody knows that solar's not gonna be 5 to 7 years, but.
But that's on the other side, then you look at the total net savings and you look at 30 years of budget savings and you say, well, how would we ever control our budget by that much with any other, revenue source besides raising taxes? There's really not many significant levers you can push and get that kind of return,
True.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a skeptic when it comes to this stuff, but it does sound good, and I always remember, being told if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
There's gonna be some little glitch somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
But that's why your
Yeah.
solicitor,
That's it.
that's why your solicitor gets involved, that's why,
That's what I'm
you
saying,
get
it would have to all be,
vetted.
I
Yep.
mean, I think probably the first step is, maybe talk to council and say, is it worth having, because they're gonna have to say
Approve it.
whether or not the solicitor can look into
Yeah.
it. And
We're gonna wanna approve it.
Do we
So we asked for time on a workshop.
try to do this as soon as possible, or do we try to get the energy transition plan through first, and then push this, or?
I would hope that if they adopt it in April, then you could ask to be on the May workshop and say, hey, we wanna bring another look at solar,
Okay.
I think Exact Solar just said that, there's a certain time period where we gotta, pull the trigger if we're gonna do this, so.
Did they tell you the time period?
I asked him, I said, can we last until this capital budget in November? He said, no, I can't let it go that long. So apparently they're holding this equipment that they purchased and they're looking for candidates to take advantage of it. So I guess it's appealing enough that there are other interested parties. So at some point, somebody's gonna say, hey, we want in.
Right.
And they're gonna say, we're holding a slot for Plymouth. Let me check with them and see what they're thinking.
Right.
So the sooner we can get it in front of council, the better.
Okay.
You're not talking about a major cap, you're talking about $43,000, is that what I see up there?
Well, actually, if you go back to the numbers, did you have that up there? So it's actually covered by the savings post-solar. So you see the second column, Rick?
Yeah,
We're getting $50,000 of savings. So the $42,000 800 fee to the company is covered by the savings that you
Yeah,
get.
so that's actually, this is where the get to be true part starts with me. When the first year was full of savings, I'm like, how does,
Wait, so why does it have a
guess
cash.
that's the difference
That's the
between.
savings.
Because that's the savings that the township starts to accrue.
Right.
First year. Which is hard for me to believe too, but
Yeah, so that's 7,900 is 42,800 plus 7,902 equals the 50,702.
But
Yeah,
then if
but
you
we're-
talk about the engineer and the solicitor and all this,
Oh, yeah.
you're probably
Both
gonna
sides.
be even or
Yeah,
under
that's
a
the
little
first
bit.
year.
What I'm saying is like, you're not putting up $600,000.
Yeah.
So capital wise, it's not a huge
Huge.
number.
Yes.
And that's figuring out that if the solar was installed January 1st, 2027, the immediate reduction in electricity costs to the township would be that $50,000
Right.
for that full 12 months.
That's amazing.
Because solar brings your electricity rate below the market level that PICO is charging all of us. So because the solar panels will be efficient enough, they're projecting that it'll save the township $50,000 on the first year of electricity, and that's your fixed electricity cost.
And are these calculations like based on this geographic area and everything? Because they said they were new to Pennsylvania. Because isn't there stuff with solar that the coverage and stuff like that?
Yep, it's based on your latitude as you go up.
Closeness to the
Yep, so they calculate all that in there.
altitude, and your altitude, closeness to the sun.
Yep.
So they took that into consideration.
They put that all into their model, yep.
So it's not too rosy.
Yep, it should be realistic for our market. In fact, because they're coming out and they're talking to townships, they want to be legitimate. They don't want to pull the rug over anybody's eyes, so they got to be as accurate as they can be. In fact, I'm almost wondering if it would be better to
Push this ahead instead.
do this in April and we'll say, hey, we can wait on the ETP. But yeah, you've also got, a little bit of resistance from Matt because he told us last September that he didn't have capacity to look into this, or the township doesn't have the money and all that. So that we've got to work through his concerns also. And so,
Well, ultimately, it's up to council, though.
yes.
Right.
I mean, they'll look to him, certainly.
Yeah.
Is this being recorded?
Yes.
Yeah, should be more careful.
Yeah, I don't think many people listen to it, so I won't worry. I don't think many people listen to it, so I won't worry about it.
Okay. So I guess we stick to this. We try and hopefully we're on for April's meeting for the clean energy transition plan. But if we're not on that agenda, what do we try and present?
well,
this?
okay, so if he says you're not on the agenda, it's probably because they had something else take the time, or that the council's not comfortable yet to
Yes.
discuss it.
Gotcha.
So it really wouldn't take a lot of time for them to vote on it. There's not going to be a lot of discussion, I don't think, because they want to have all their questions answered ahead of the meeting. They don't usually do that in a public meeting. So, in a sense, you already pitched them the idea, and they're just going to come to the point of deciding how they're going to vote on it. And then, so if it gets pushed from the agenda, it's probably because somebody has a concern that needs more explanation, and maybe then we'll be able to come back to a workshop to say, hey, we can now, do more of your answered questions, and they may just want a personal phone call, say, I've got these concerns, I just need to talk to somebody, and it can be handled that way. But on this pitch for the solar, you could say, hey, Matt, Is it too late to get on the April workshop agenda, which is independent of the vote agenda? You could still have the public vote on the public meeting, doesn't take much time. So asking for time on the April workshop to pitch this solar idea could still be viable if they have time.
I guess I understand that. I'm wondering if, I wasn't present for the discussion, so I don't know the tenor of it, but if there were concerns, I just wonder if they might think it's getting the cart before the horse. Like it would more naturally, this proposal on the solar would more naturally follow the clean energy transition.
So what you could do is you could just wait for the April vote and then say, hey, Matt, we've got another topic for May workshop that we'd like to discuss with council.
Yeah. Did you get a sense of how long they would wait? I know you said not until November, but
I feel like May would be fine.
I think May hopefully would be fine. So what we could do is we could email David tomorrow and say, we were hoping to get on the workshop in May. Is that okay? If we get pushed to June, is that still okay? And then see what they say.
all right. John, do you want to email that? What's his name?
David, I forget his last name, Hammes, Hammes, is it? Actually, you probably want to talk to David at Exact Solar because he's the one working the agreement with us.
I have the email, so I'll send it out.
All right. That's good.
All right.
All right. Swimming pool update.
We have our UNO inspection on Thursday, so I think if that goes well, which I think it will, I don't know if they put out, I don't want to say the date because I don't know if they put it out to everyone. I don't know if you guys see, like, if they we talked about it internally, but I don't want to say the date that they want to reopen the pool because I don't know if it's been put out publicly. So I'll say soon. If everything goes well Thursday, it'll be soon.
All right.
Okay. Any other announcements?
Not really.
Gearing up for
Yeah, but we started getting outside, and of course, last week when it was 80 degrees, my phone was ringing off the hook for everybody. Wanting to get Little League and Villanova and soccer. They do spring soccer, and so we're back outside. So it kind of went from snowstorm 2 weeks ago to 80 degrees, and we're getting ready for spring.
I was curious that the field over at the GPCC, it's been closed for reseeding. It seems like it's going on its second season, but maybe I'm just getting mixed up.
It's 1 year. We started last April. So we're gonna keep it closed for one more growing season. So we'll.
Oh, you were?
Well, for the spring, we're gonna it's bluegrass. It really needs more time than just fall. So we're gonna keep it closed until we'll allow them to get on for their season in the fall.
So where do the people that use like all the little soccer leagues and stuff, where do they go?
So soccer is mainly a fall sport.
Okay.
So last year that we kept the upper field open. So they used the upper field.
Yeah.
We were going to resod and reseed that when they were done. So they got done like around Thanksgiving, and then it got like bone chilling cold in December. Then we got a snowstorm, and then
Yeah.
so we never got a chance to do that. So I don't know if we're going to be able to fit that in this spring. We're going to have to hold off till next fall. But they went to I believe they played some of their stuff at the Victory Fields. We have JFK Field. They use Caldwell Park. So, yeah, it's been closed since last April.
Cool. Okay. I haven't posted anything on social media in a while.
Did we get on the newsletter?
Yes. Great. Good point. Yeah, I think let's see, newsletters. Yeah, I put this together real quick to just
That's great.
show what we were doing, and I
Thank
think
you.
it'll go in the spring newsletter. Brandon said we could put it in there.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I guess we'll update our social media page, make a post if, depending on how the vote goes, or if we're on the vote, if we make the seed library, that kind of stuff. But we also talked about doing a 1-year post for the single-use plastic thing coming up next month, just to use Penn Environment's calculator to see how many bags we theoretically
That's cool.
saved.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if I want to get people riled up again about the plastic bags.
No, go ahead, I think this is great.
Everybody's doing it now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
where
not
are
the
you
only
gonna go?
ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna go?
This is great.
All right. Yeah. So, after 1 year, we've diverted an estimated 5.4 million plastic bags.
Wow.
Seems like a lot. I mean, this estimate is, I think it was like 360 bags per person per year. So that's a bag a person per day, which
Wow.
I know we probably all don't use that much. I don't know who's using that many
Yeah.
plastic bags, but
It would be interesting if, like in the parks and stuff, if there's been any notice of less plastic, like in the natural areas and things like that. I don't know if there's been any anecdotal observations or not.
Yeah, not that I'm aware
No.
of.
You
Yeah.
didn't run into much when you're cutting fields.
I mean, most of the trash, it's mostly like internal trash, like, people that are using the park, so, and the leagues, the baseball teams and the football teams, it's, water bottles that they leave and stuff, so I don't know. I mean, Germantown Pike, the little section between Walton and Jolly, like that little wooded area, that collects a lot of trash, but I don't think it was any more than normal, it's just stuff that blows in there from, people throwing stuff out on Germantown Pike or whatever, but.
I think the same is true on New Hope Street, I guess, because this is a busier road than I would think, people.
Yeah.
But whenever we're doing work on this side of Bicentennial Park, there's always a good amount of trash, like caught up in the
Yeah.
trees here, and we usually pick it up. It would have been cool to keep track of that, but if there were fewer plastic bags, but lots of coffee cups and water bottles full of pee and that kind of stuff,
It might be, like, are there natural areas with lots of trash then?
I've noticed it here more than anywhere else
Oh,
that
okay.
we worked in Plymouth, and I think it's just because it's a main road between Norristown and
Yeah.
Plymouth, heading to Norristown, and
I mean,
Maybe it's
Germantown
too small.
Pike gets a lot like that, there's a lot on that little section.
I was just thinking that, I wonder, it's just an idea, I don't know, it's probably not possible this year, but like Perkium and Watershed Conservancy, they do an annual stream cleanup. They call themselves the largest stream cleanup in the region. I don't know if that's true or not, but it is just tremendous, the amount of, it's sad that there is that much trash, but the amount of tires and everything that come out of the watershed, and it would be kind of neat to do that as an EAB, like we could do maybe it's not stream cleanup day, but like a natural areas cleanup day or something. It would be kind of like a very actionable, easy thing, like Girl Scout, Boy Scout troops could participate, or businesses, or schools, you know, a community service day. Just, it would be so actionable. I mean, because some of these things we're talking about, like converting to solar and all this, and bike, like doing bike lanes and stuff, it's just, it gets so big, it's hard to, you know, the
Yeah.
tree giveaway was like really actionable, but that was like a massive lift on your end.
Yeah, I like that idea. I know,
Just easy.
yeah, White Marsh does this, well, through the township, they do it twice a year, the EAB, but they clean up the same part of a park every year. But they have a big event, you know, they have like, they give out T-shirts and they have food and stuff, but
That's cool.
I don't know if we have to do.
Joanna has a couple companies that, I could ask her, she has a couple companies that I think every year they do a park cleanup.
Oh,
East
really?
Plymouth Valley, yeah.
Where did she send them?
East Plymouth Valley, Community Center Park, they're like the two most used parks that we have, so I can ask her.
Yeah. What she thinks about that. Yeah, I mean, that's like Perkiomen, they do, a Friday is the businesses, and I used to do, well, I had been doing it with the planning commission. So they're, and then on the Saturday is like the residents,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And then we would have like sites, like even the little, just even on Jolly, the little planting there, that could use some cleanup. There's always stuff in the stream there. There's always junk.
Yeah,
And you guys probably, I mean, the staff doesn't have time to go around doing that kind of stuff.
I mean,
Get stuff out of
yeah,
the streams and stuff.
nah, not out of the streets, we pick up enough trash just mowing the fields and stuff like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like kind of like in the woods area there at the GPCC and,
We do go up there, we'll go up there
oh,
every spring and just walk it, because there's a lot, I mean,
yeah.
it looks, until all that scrub stuff starts to grow, it looks pretty bad, like, I mean,
Yeah.
but, yeah, it's a lot.
yeah, well, I like that idea. Do you want to try and think about it some more, and we'll bring it back next?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe what I should do is look at a map of the township and try to identify areas that could be potential sites,
Yeah,
and then think through if we have kind of enough, and whether it's, like, you could have people sign up, so many people sign up for so many sites.
mm-hmm.
We could base it off of what the watershed does.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I drove here near the trash to steam plant the other day when it was super windy, and it was just tons of trash all over, you know, because the trash trucks are driving in here and stuff falls out and then it's blowing around.
Yeah.
So I
Just
know,
even in the neighborhoods, windy days.
Where's that road, where are you?
this is Allenwood Road.
Allenwood Road.
Yeah.
IKEA.
There was, you know, I know there used to be a group a couple years ago that I would volunteer with, and they would do litter cleanups along the trail here,
Oh, really?
all along up and down this road. But because it's such a busy road, you have to be careful.
So who was doing that?
It was a group called Colonial Cleanup. I think they stopped doing it.
That's interesting.
Let's see if they're still.
So we'd kind of be
Yeah, here.
doing what they used to do? They're not active anymore?
I don't think so. I haven't seen them in a couple years. They were really active for. Oh, okay. They had one last year. It looks like.
So are they just Plymouth, or are they Plymouth and White Marsh?
I think it was mostly Plymouth. Like here's that.
Oh, yeah, on the trail
Near the
underneath.
steel
plant there.
Too.
And
Yeah, I know they would do a lot along the that place where I just showed. Yeah, here, like pictures of right along Allenwood Road. That's a this was weird. There was like
Clothing.
bras in the tree here. I remember that.
That's weird. Like as an art thing or something? Someone
I
had
don't
put them
know.
up there?
That was a Halloween prank, wasn't
And
it?
stuff.
It was in February. I don't know. So they got them out.
Oh my God.
But I know that road's always there's always stuff there because it flies out of the.
Oh, Diane
Trash truck.
Boyle.
Yeah,
He's
why do
my
I know
neighbor.
that name? Oh, okay.
So
I
that
should
could
ask
be
her.
that could be a spot too. Parks would be nicer.
Did you, just want to do a, bullet, things that organizing that's not under data centers, so maybe the organizing bullet,
Oh.
put that out a higher level.
It's called Colonial Cleanups.
Yeah, Colonial Cleanup on Facebook. Wonder if we message them.
What does White Marsh call theirs?
Enviroteers. Here it is. They do it at Well Street cleanup every.
So
They do it
only
twice a
at that
year.
location.
Yeah, and they also in the past they worked with us and we've led a group to do like invasive vine cutting and stuff like that too. But there's always cleanups.
We could come up with a trendy, pretty Plymouth, or I don't know.
Okay. I didn't look into. I tried looking up briefly on Facebook if there was an update about the data center in West Country, and I couldn't see anything. Do we have any update on the county ordinance, model ordinance for data
Yeah,
center?
it's coming down the home stretch, almost done. And they had a really good forum on it last week, I think.
Yeah, I think Matt intended to attend that in person, but I don't know if he did. Matt West said he was gonna go to that. in
Did he
person.
go?
He just said via email, he didn't acknowledge that he did.
I think he was signed up, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you, I could you do that virtually?
It was both,
Yes.
but it turned out that the audio was messed up for the first 2 hours.
Oh,
So a
no.
lot of people shut down their Zoom, which
Oh,
I was one of them. I was trying to interpret what they were saying.
oh,
And
shoot.
the microphone at the computer wasn't, hooked up to the microphone at the podium, so it was all garbled, especially when someone from the audience pitched in.
Oh,
So,
that's too bad.
but apparently they sent out an email like an hour and a half, 2 hours or an hour and a half after or whatever, sometime in that period. So I missed the email because I wasn't paying attention. So
Yeah.
I didn't get. They fixed the audio issue, but I didn't get back on until the last 15
Oh,
minutes.
what a bummer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was joint with Chester County. I think it was held in Chester, if I'm remembering right. I wasn't here, but I
I
didn't.
recorded the last 15 minutes. I could share it with you guys just because that was when your director, is it
Scott France.
Scott France, he talked about the model ordinance and what their plans were.
Yeah, I know it's almost done. And,
Okay.
yeah, they put a lot of really great work into that with Chester.
Great. Okay. I think the only other thing, did you see Lena's email about if we'd prefer her to step off the board while she's teaching? I talked to her and she said she was willing to. She was for switching the dates so she could attend, but she wasn't sure next semester what her class schedule will look like. So if we go through the trouble of
And then she could have another class. It would then.
switching, so I don't
It's probably
think.
not worth it if it's only for 2 more months. When would she be
Right.
available, in June?
I think so.
Where's she teaching, did you say?
No.
If we can have quorum with 3, I actually don't mind. I was thinking actually if we needed 4, I was thinking about cutting out the 2 unfilled spaces, just so that we can have
Go
quorum.
back to 5.
Yeah, but if that's not a problem, I actually have no opinion. And I don't mind if she comes back in 2 months or 3.
The guest who attended last month, did anybody create a connection with her just to reach out and see if she had any questions?
Yeah, I emailed her with the agenda and
Today, yeah.
and told her we were meeting today, and I guess we steered her away.
And Bill, would you consider joining as a member?
I mean, it's really just the 3-year commitment that I'm nervous about. I mean,
Okay.
if we get the associate member bylaws, then it could be a little bit more, free form. I mean, I don't mind joining, so I guess I could think, I'll give it more serious.
I mean, plenty of people have quit midway
Yes.
through their term.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Yeah. I did happen to meet a neighbor, and I give her the information at the time. She sounded interested, but she said she also does the tax work here, and this was her busy period, so I'll reach out to her again for the April meeting and see if she got through her workload.
Yeah. Yeah, the people I reached out to, they just, the timing's not good right now.
Similar topic. Changing the time from 7 to 6. How do we do that, and is everyone still okay with that?
I think we'd have to go through, so it would definitely have to be advertised. I'll ask Matt, because they did that with the council executive session, and they did also change the Shade Tree and Advisory, the Parks Board, they call it. They changed how often they meet. They don't meet every month anymore. I don't think they changed the time, but I know it has to go through it has to be advertised, it has to, I'll ask that, how we go about changing that.
Okay. And is everyone okay with that?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yeah, especially summertime.
Yeah. Right now it's 8:43, and I'm like,
Yeah.
if this was 7, it'd be a lot easier
I go
to
bed in
adjust.
15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it feels late.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
There's lots of stuff to talk about, but, all right. Anyone? Motion?
Motion
To adjourn?
to adjourn.
Anybody second
I
that?
can second that.
All right.